Spoiler alert. The following will contain spoilers for Raised by Wolves. What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man, from E-Man's Movie Reviews. I have just finished the very first episode of Raised by Wolves on HBO. Oh, wow. Look, when I first heard about it, I saw the trailer. I saw Ridley Scott was behind it. And look, I've been a fan of Ridley Scott for a long time. You know, you got Alien and all this other stuff, Prometheus, all that stuff that he's done. So, you know, the fact that this was like, at least what, to my knowledge, this looks like an original concept, I was for it, you know. So, oh my goodness, this episode, there was a lot going on. Just the first initial impression, you know, the episode did kind of, you know, start off a little slow, but then again, you know, they have to do some world building. We have to kind of figure out what's going on because we're really just thrown right into the mix. I mean, we just got these androids, they taking care of kids, and there are people around. I don't know what year it is. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, but the last 10 minutes of this show. Okay. So let's just kind of go through the episode. But so it starts off, you know, with the ship landing on the planet. You know, it's deserted, clearly. The only sign of life that we see is, you know, the big skeletal snake thing, reptilian thing. I don't know what that is, but that thing is huge. You know, it's clearly, my assumption is that this thing is going to come back, whatever this worm snake-like creature is, because it's not like they found this thing, you know, way deep down under the earth. It was still on surface level, which means that thing did not die not too long ago, you know. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, the more important thing that kind of caught my attention first was like the androids, right? So you have mother and you have father, but it seems like father is a slightly inferior droid because he's like programmed to only take care of her. Because it seems like he's programmed to only take care of mother, while mother gets to make the choice to say, I will also take care of you. So I noticed that little difference there, you know, but her primary objective clearly is to take care of these children, which is also very fascinating, right? Because if you think about it, these are androids, right? So they're just straight up robots, but you know, they're supposed to look and feel human and so on and so forth. I mean, even father with his jokes, you know, dad jokes, ugh, you know, but it was just kind of interesting how they are like programmed to feel things. And it's funny because, you know, I call them technical emotions, right? And it's hard to program something, because when you program, anybody that's ever programmed or written code or whatever, programming follows logic. You know, it's zeros, ones, so on and so forth. And sure, this is obviously a way more advanced society or whatever, but the basic function is, of any programmer typically is to follow some lines of logic. You know, like whoever created and programmed these androids, you know, whatever their beliefs, whatever their thoughts, whatever that programmer wants to instill, they're going to pass that down to the android. And I'm assuming these androids don't have free will per se. They are a slave to their programming. But with that said, you know, it's still interesting how the androids still want to go through the motions of being human. I just thought it was kind of interesting because mother seems very connected to the mothering experience, right? Like, you know, even when Campion is born and he's not breathing, you know, she had that maternal instinct, or was it programming? I don't know, to, you know, do the body to body contact and stuff, right? And I don't know if any of you have kids or not, but, you know, after having my kids, you know, that was something I learned about how valuable and important it is to have that, you know, first initial contact, that skin to skin, you know, contact for newborns. So it was pretty interesting that that they tried to highlight that, you know, that element. And on top of that, when Campion is like also, still not breathing or whatever, Mother is going through like this flood of emotions. Is she programmed to go through those flood of emotions, or are her emotions overtaking her programming? Because emotions don't follow logic. I wonder if that's kind of what's happening with Mother as she's giving birth. She's going through all these emotions. She's crying, she's singing. Like, I, can androids do that? I guess so. Anyway, so we see Mother and Father actually create like this little mini civilization or whatnot for the kids and everything. And it was kind of messed up though. Like, clearly we see that the kids are like either falling in holes and dying, or they're just getting sick, which is weird because I don't know. I guess it's not weird because they're on a strange alien planet. So, maybe it's the conditions, maybe it's the weather, who knows. But all the kids are dying except for Campion. Which ironically, as he was like the most sickly child or almost on death, the verge of death, he ends up, being like the main survivor. But like a really interesting theme that I'm seeing play out already is like this dynamic between, belief and non-belief, right? So, you have Mother giving like, her little life lessons or whatever to the children. And it's funny how, she's like disparaging the humans that are believers. I think they call it the Mithraic or whatever people. And, she's kind of talking about how like, they believe in fantasy and, that belief doesn't do anything. And it's pretty typical like non-believer who doesn't like believer, type of shtick or whatever. But it's also interesting because this clearly is what her creator believed. So if her creator was an atheist, then that person's going to pass that down to their androids. So one thing that I thought was kind of interesting with Mother was how she was trying to pit, believers and atheists, on two opposing sides. But, given, like, she's not even an atheist though. Like, given her programming and given what she's saying and doing, like, she's actually more of an anti-theist. And the difference between an anti-theist and an atheist, an anti-theist is someone I would define as, putting more energy towards or having negativity, being like putting more action behind your disdain or your hatred or loathing for theism, right? So, whereas an atheist is just someone who lacks belief. They just don't believe. So if they don't believe, there's really no reason for them to put energy into something that they don't believe in, right? So, but Mother, she seems very hostile towards theism. Like, I mean, she does not rock with believers, and again, that's probably from her programming. But it was interesting how Campion actually challenges her a little bit, by saying like, hey, you saying belief and fantasy don't do nothing, but them other people, they won. They beat the atheists, and you sitting here talking about science is all good, but science didn't save my brothers and sisters. They did. So what's the harm in belief? And I think what was very interesting about that conversation is just the fact that it kind of points out the fact that you're talking about two different worldviews. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Both have their fair share of criticisms, and both can find the holes in one another, So I just thought that it was interesting that Mother was being challenged with something that, she can't, I don't think she can comprehend that because that's her programming. Her programming is, I'm programmed to be atheist and I'm programmed that these believers are bad people, or whatever. I believe that science is only the, right way, etc., etc. So, I don't really think she knows how to process that. But here's the other wild thing. So, like, yes, okay, all the kids are dead and everything. And all of a sudden we start seeing Mother have like new abilities or new powers or whatever. She can morph her face and stuff. And it was just kind of like, oh, okay. Like when she sat here and said that she had no recollection of what she could do or not do, I'm like, see, that right there, we about to, you about to open it up, because if you don't know, we don't know. We all gonna be surprised together. But as father had gone into the hole, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like that plastic stuff or whatever, I personally think that's just some shedded skin. That, if we have some big old reptile skeleton thing over there, I think that's some shedded skin from some sort of monster, because they did say that the hole where the ship is buried is actually still kind of warm. So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, if it's warm, something might be living down there. Clearly life exists here, but it's just maybe below ground or whatever. Now, here's something, and you guys let me know what you think. I thought it was actually kind of interesting that when Mother goes into like her attack mode or whatever, she kind of takes the form of a crucifix or something, or of a cross. So I'm wondering if that's like some symbology going on, or if that's just like irony or whatever. So I don't know. If you have some input on that, you let me know. Now, when Mother found out about Father going to the ship, I didn't like that. I'm just sitting here like, come on now. You guys are already down in numbers, and you gonna kill the last brother on this planet? Come on, man. Why you gotta kill? He couldn't even make it to the end of the episode. So there goes Father, But then, the humans came, so what I liked about it was Mother's robotic way of interacting with them. The whole time she looks and sounds like an android. She's like, oh, get off her land, please. Oh, okay, I'd like for you to leave like tomorrow at the earliest. Now, so Mother's definitely she's an interesting character. And by the way, shout out to the actress, what's her name, Amanda Collins. She is killing this role. Like, I really do believe she's an android. Just the way she's carrying herself in her performance, she's doing a very good job. Anyway, so the humans that do come in and stay with them, they were talking about some child of prophecy and stuff. So now I'm wondering, okay, is this prophecy real? Because clearly, Campion has some roots, I guess, of belief within himself. At the very end of the episode, he was saying maybe something's hidden in me, so. But this is where the episode finally picks up, because I was sitting here kind of like, okay, I'm gonna need y'all to kind of pick this up a little bit, and it definitely just went right up. I mean, first during the android on android battle, I was sitting here like, oh, okay, they about to go at it and stuff, and I was like, wait, you can do a nut shot? Like, you could do, okay, all right, I will go with that. And then Mother screamed and melted dude's face off. I was like, I didn't know you could do that. Okay, so that's different. Like, I don't even know how that works. What is it? Like, how does sound melt people? Oh my gosh. That was nuts. And then when she goes on this arc, she is blowing people up like they are water balloons or something. This was insane. I mean, this reminded me of Darth Vader during the Rogue One scene, in that hallway scene. She was just a walking nightmare. And then we find out this chick has freeze breath too. Like, what can you not do? And everybody's just sitting there like, I guess I'm just gonna get popped. Like, and they just pop or whatever, and the blood is just everywhere floating around. That was some dope visuals too, But that was not the craziest thing. The craziest thing to me, and I have never seen this in a movie, and I've seen a lot of horrors and all this stuff. When Mother needed that retina scan, or the retinal scan or whatever, and she ripped this man's eyelid off, I was like, that, I don't know, it just sent goosebumps and stuff. That was disgusting. But I can't believe this. I mean, Mother went through all this trouble just to go get some kids to bring back so Campion could have a play date. And she crashed the ark. Like, Yeah, Mother's breaking down all right. Look, all I know is I'm excited for the next episode. I definitely want to see where they go with this. I want to know more backstory too. Obviously, like what was this big conflict going on? Like, why were they on the run? What is the deal going on here? But so far, first episode of Raised by Wolves, I'm with this. I can get with this. I like this sci-fi stuff, and clearly they don't care about violence or anything, so they're not gonna hold back apparently. So I'm very excited to see where they go with it. So you tell me, like, what were your favorite parts in this episode? I don't even know if you can make a theory at this point of what's gonna happen or not, but yeah, I'm curious. How did you enjoy this episode? What did you think? What did you feel? Let me know in the comments down below. I will be following more of this, and I'll post my reactions after every episode. So just make sure you come back next week when the next episode drops. I will have my reaction ready to go for you, and we can hopefully discuss and dissect whatever the heck goes on in this episode. I feel like this is going to be a wild ride. So if you're new, please feel free to subscribe to this channel so that way you don't miss out when I'm dropping another video. In the meantime, I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.